This, I believe, social medias and the pressures of it. Social media is something most of us use every single day in our daily lives. We don't always realize how much it can affect the way we see ourselves. Because of that, I started thinking more about how social media shapes our thoughts and our confidence. The first thing we do almost every single day when we wake up is we grab our phones and we start scrolling. This is natural instinct. I do it every single morning before I get out of bed and start my day. Within a few minutes, we start seeing perfect photos, perfect people, and perfect lives. However, the truth is what we see online is only a very small part of reality. This constant exposure can start to affect how we feel about ourselves. This is something almost everybody experiences, including myself. Scrolling through apps like TikTok and Instagram becomes a daily habit for all of us. We see productivity reviews, beauty standards, and people living what seems to be like perfect lives. Over time, constantly comparing ourselves to those images can make us feel like we're falling behind or like we're simply not good enough. This leads into what I personally believe about social media. I believe that while social media can be entertaining and inspiring at most times, it can also create unrealistic expectations, especially for young people who spend most of their times on social media. It's so easy to forget that what we see online is not often the reality. Because of this, it's so important to separate what's real from what is curated. This is because social media is often not showing the full story. Most of what we see online is just a highlight reel. People usually post their best moments and not their worst moments. Photos are carefully chosen, carefully curated, and carefully filtered before posting for the entire world to see. Real life is so much more complex than a perfectly curated post we see. When we forget that, comparison begins to take a huge toll on us. When we constantly compare ourselves to others online, it can start to lower our confidence. I personally relate to this because I begin to feel the effects of lowered confidence or falling behind whenever I view these perfect lives on social media. Watching perfectly edited content constantly can create pressure to be perfect, which is not realistic for any of us. So it is so important to constantly remind ourselves of that truth. Not everything online is a reflection of real life. Perfection is definitely an illusion. What really matters is the authenticity and being comfortable with who you are and being comfortable within yourself. One way to protect ourselves from this pressure is by setting boundaries. Setting limits with social media can make a big difference in our lives. It's so important for all of us to take breaks and spend time in the real world. We need to focus on things that make us feel good about ourselves and protect our mental health. It's important to remember that our worth is not measured by likes and followers. This brings me to my final thought. At the end of the day, social media is not going anywhere anytime soon. However, the way we think about ourselves can make a change. Unrealistic standards and filters can harm our mental health, but remembering what's real can help us safely enjoy spending time on social media. This is why I believe it is important to choose self love over comparison and protect our mental health.